Hello and welcome. My name is Jason and today I'm going to be showing you through our upgraded version of our software for you to customize and design your tags that fits your branding for your business. So to start off with, head to our website innovative-tags.com.au and then you're going to click on Shop, Color Picture Tags, and this will take you to the variety of shapes and sizes we have for both hang tag and pot tags. Now we have got about 4 or 5 new sizes and shapes coming, as well as being able to utilize bamboo stakes and customize them as you please. This just gives you an alternative to using plastic. So what I'm going to do is today I'm going to show you through each element on how to design the tag. Okay, and then you can sit down and I'm going to speed up and you can watch how I would design something from scratch. So we're going to be utilizing the rectangle hang tag today. Now once you've clicked on the tag that you're interested in, it will come up with the dimensions, the sizing, the quantities involved and the pricing, as well as any other fees that might apply to your order. Now I'm hoping you understand that we do short runs. Now we do real short runs, so talking about 24 labels, as small as 24 labels for this specific shape, okay, per design. But today what we're going to be utilizing is personalize now. Now what will happen is it'll take you through to this area. Now this is where we're going to be working on our design. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you through each element that is available for you to use. So to start us off, let's see what our different views are. So you've got a split screen here. So the right hand side is where we're going to be doing all our work. So any images, any text, anything that you're adding or moving around will be done on this area here. But what will happen is it'll be reflected on this 3D rendered digital version of the tag you're going to be creating. Okay, so any changes you make on the right hand side will automatically be updated onto this side here. Now you can also use just a 3D version. Now this is only for visual. You won't be able to do any work or changes on this area here. I personally like to use this as ways of taking screenshots and sending them through to clients for them to assess the design and the way it looks. Then you've got just the 2D working area that you can work with. Now you'll notice this gray area around this around the border. Now this is your bleed. Very, very important to utilize and be aware of where all the information is. When it comes to text, please be mindful not to be too close to that edge, as you do run the risk of it being cut off during the cutting phase of your order, and which means you'll have some text missing. So really important to keep it away from the edge as possible. But the opposite applies when it comes to colors and photos and images that you're going to be using. We recommend using the edge and the bleed as much as possible, even over it. What it does is when it is cut, you won't be left with this white border around the edging of your tag. You'll be able to utilize the entire tag to design. So we're going to move to the left hand side here. This is your upload. So this is where you'll upload your logo or any designs that you've got, or maybe the plant images that you're going to be utilizing. This is where you'll be able to download them from your own files. So I'll grab another image here. Okay, and what will happen is it will be uploaded and it gets saved in this area here. Now these images will stay here as long as I don't delete my cache from my web browser. As soon as I do that, these images will be wiped, and then you'll just have to re-add them in there. So if we wanted to add an image, we click on it and it presents itself over here. So as you can see, as we move, it updates it on the 3D side as well. Now you have the ability to decrease, increase the size of the image. So like I said, when it comes to positioning, even if you can use just a little bit over the bleed, it will make a big difference to the overall presentation of the tag once it's cut and printed. Okay, now the beauty of this is you can use multiple images. You don't have to have just one, you can have as many as you like on there. Okay, now as you can see, they all put themselves in the center of that image there, of the tag. So what happens is you get presented with this bar. So once I click on it, I get presented with this little function here, the sidebar. This gives you the ability to move the image back or forward because they're just different layers. Or you can also right click, okay, and send it backwards or front and things like that as well. Okay, so maybe we wanted to move that one there, and maybe we wanted this one to be here like this. Like, you have the ability to move these things around so you can create different layers. All right. Now we're going to move down to our next one, which is text. Now, before I like to get started on any design, a great tip to use is make sure you've got all the information ready and available. I like to just use, even if it's just a document, a Word document, where I've got all the information, all the text that I'm going to be using, purely so I can copy and paste that information into my design. I find this really helps with, you might mistype something that could create some issues or spelling mistakes and stuff like that, but it really is so much faster to be able to copy and paste information into your Word document. So you'll notice over here, I've added text in here, but nothing's happened here. So it will only happen once I click this Add to Text box, and this is when the information you've put in that will appear. Now, when you click on the text that you've just added, you're presented with this bar. Now, this bar gives you the ability to change the different text, fonts, also different sizing. Now, you will notice that if the box is too small, the words will keep getting shorter and start working its way down. So if you even just stretch that bar out, it'll give you the ability to keep a single line. Now you will notice that with the sizing, the lowest size it gets down to is a 10, and then it jumps up from a 24 to a 36, which might be a little bit too big at times for the text that you're using. So if you click on any of these dots and you drag them inwards, if you watch over here, you can actually go down by single digits at a time. So you can get the perfect sizing for that design that you're creating currently. Now the next feature over here we've got is the color wheel. Now this gives you the ability to just choose whatever color you're wanting to utilize, okay, for your branding. Now a new feature we added because from the feedback we got, a lot of people were struggling to get the exact same color over and over again. So each color tone has got an identification code to it. So what we can do is, what we're going to do is we're going to add another one in here. We'll choose, and let's choose a different font as well. Oh. See, and this is the spelling mistakes. Okay, we're going to add this in here. We're going to stretch them out. All right. Now we're wanting to get this exact same color. So we're going to go back here. We're going to highlight this, copy. And then we're going to go to the other one and we're going to go highlight this side. And then we're going to right click and paste. And we get that. Now, if there is an issue with you being able to copy and paste information, it's got nothing to do with the software, it's got more to do with your browsing access that you're using. So to find out if that is an issue, what you'll have to do is go right to the top where where the URL is, right click on the lock. Now this is going to show up what your permissions are. So as you can see, the clipboard is what is utilized for copying and pasting, and this has been allowed. Now if it isn't being allowed for you, what you will have to do is go to Site Settings, okay, and scroll down till you find the clipboard. Now it would be one of either. You'll find it'll either say Ask, where it's asking you if it's allowed to copy and paste on this website or not, or it's blocked. So if you change that to allow, or this will give you access to be able to copy and paste information in there. And then we've got our last little section over here, which basically gives you the ability to change the size of where the text starts. So, if we want that to go that side, and we stretch this out, and we want this one to go that side, it gives you the ability to do that, but you can also just move it around as well. The same as what you've got for an image. Remember how we were able to move information back? You also have that same ability over here with your text. So everything is just a layer. So you have the ability to move everything forward or everything back, depending on what you want in your design. So the next one we're going to be working on is called elements. Now please be mindful that this may take a couple seconds to download or upload so that you can utilize these features. There are quite a lot in there that will help you maximize the designs that you can create. So at the top here we've got all our intellectual properties. So maybe it's got copyright text that you're using, or maybe the plant that you're using is registered. You can utilize this just to show that on your design for customers. Also, you've got social media icons and things so that you can direct your potential customers where they could find more information or start following you. The next section you've got here is your icons, so icon library that we've provided you. So you can add these to help describe what sort of environment that your specific plant needs to be able to thrive. And we find icons are a great way to save a lot of space and less text, so that people can start to identify what needs will meet what location and an area they've got to work with. The next part that we've got here as well is called shapes. Now these are great little part to designs. So let's stretch our image out here. Now imagine you've got your text and the image, just the text seems to almost blend into your design, and it becomes really hard for you to see. So if you're struggling to see it, I'm sure customers would have the same problem. So you can utilize these shapes over here. Now all of these shapes, you're able to choose the color just like you can with your text. You've got the color wheel that you can change as you go ahead. Okay, now let's do this. Let's make it a bit smaller. Now you'll notice that our text has disappeared. That's because, remember, this is the top layer. So all we need to do is move it down so that the text can be on top. So let's make it white. So you can see it really makes a difference to how it presents, and it makes it a lot easier and cleaner for customers to be able to read the information you're trying to provide them. But these little shapes here, there's heaps of different varieties that you can use. They're great for creating a point of difference, so that it's not just a tag with a photo and some text on it. You can really create something unique with these things. So maybe your design was award-winning for some reason. Some of these shapes have the ability where you can choose multiple different colors. So as you can see here, we'll change this to green. Okay, and maybe we want to change this blue part. Let's make it pink to really stand out. And then you got this middle bit here, we're going to make it black instead. And then what you could do is go back to your text, and maybe we could add some more text in there. So we'll change that text to white. And now you can add information in there. So whatever that information or the award was about it, or whatever message you're trying to get across, it just gives you a little point of difference that will capture the eye of a potential customer. Now the last little bit that we've got available for you, which I think really makes a difference to your design. So for instance, with this photo, it really isn't the right size for the actual size of this tag. And if we were to expand it out, it's really blows up too much and it becomes probably too overwhelming for the actual tag, and you don't get a clear idea of what the actual plant is. So instead of having this gap at the top here, what we could utilize are these gradient colors. Now, we've provided you with a whole bunch of different ones, so you might have some that are very light, but if you scroll right down, you can find some that are really dark as well. So it all comes down to yourself and what you're looking for. But what it does, it gives you the ability to blend the design in. So you don't have this line, this gap where people can see where the image starts and finishes. Okay, it gives you the ability to remove that line altogether. Now, maybe this is just too overpowering and it's really killing the design. So what we can do is we can just send this back. Okay, and it gives you a really nice clean line. And as you can see, it really changes the elements in the design altogether. Now, another thing that you can utilize for any text, icon, anything that you can basically put on here is you've got the ability to rotate. But if you want an accurate measurement, what you could do is use this thing called transform. Now, this gives you the ability to get an accurate measurement. So as you can see, the width of this is 284.05. Now let's say we just wanted an accurate measurement. It gives you the ability to do this, and this becomes really important, especially when it comes to your icons, so you can get the exact same size. This really, really helps. Or maybe we want to rotate it, okay? So, I don't really want the dark end. I want to make it lighter. So we rotate it 180 degrees. Now this gives me the ability to create something different where I'm blending it in instead. So there's so many different ways that you can create a tag using the same design and text, but change certain elements and it gives you something completely different. Now that I've showed you through all the different types of elements that we can utilize to create our designs, the last little bit is obviously once you're happy with the design on the front, now we need to be able to work on the stuff on the back. So to do so, what we're going to do is we're going to move down to panels, and this is how you will move from front to back. So once you're happy with the front, you can move to back and vice versa. So what we're going to do now is sit back, and I'm going to create something from scratch, and then I'll see you on the other side. Well, there you go, guys. This is what I've been able to create just quickly. Like I said, it really, really helps a lot when you've got all the information ready to go and you can just copy and paste it in there. I find you have less errors that come up that way as long as you know that the information is correct. But, this is what we were able to create. Once you're happy with the design and you're ready to go ahead, the very last feature, because I know what you're thinking now, like, Jason, I've got heaps, we've got dozens and dozens or hundreds of different varieties. There's no ways I'm going to be able to do this for every single variety. Well, this is where we come up with this last feature over here, which is called Save My Design. So basically, once you're happy with it, the layout that you've got here, this is where you'll come into here, and as you can see, I've saved quite a few different ones so that I can keep utilizing the same format. So we're going to save it on here. Design. And all you're going to do is save it. Now, a good tip that I would recommend doing is once you've saved it, click on these three dots and duplicate it. What this is going to do is going to give you a copy that you're able to edit to create a new design from that. Alright, so once you've done that, so once you've saved it and then you've created a duplicate, now we can go down to here and we will finalize our design. As you can see, here's the design we've just created. We click on our terms and conditions. So please just double check, make sure that all the spelling and everything is correct before you're submitting this. What you're going to do is confirm, and what it'll do from here is it'll actually push you into your cart. So this might take a few seconds, and from here this is where you're going to be able to click on the quantity that you're after for that design. So let's say we're just going to go after this 48 for this design here, and depending on the number of designs and tags that you're after, this, where is it, where are we, the cutting fee will also automatically update for that as well. So as you can see, because we're within that 24 to 216 tags, the cutting fee will only be 15. So it is a tiered event, so the more tags that you have, the cutting fee will increase, but it's a maximum of $45 for 2,000 labels. So if you get more than 2,000, well, you're still paying only $45 for it. So let's go back. So we're going to continue shopping, and we're going to go our color picture tags, and we're going to go back to our rectangle tag, and we're going to just create a new one just so you can see what we're going to change. So we've got our blank tag here ready to go. So we're going to go back up to the copied version that we had. Okay, and we're going to edit it. So from here, nice and simple, all I'm going to do is just delete this, and because I'm happy with the layout of my design, I'm going to put in another one, and we're just going to, what are we going to do? Are we going to push this right back? Nah, I like it clean, so we're going to do this, leave it as that, and this is where you would change your text and stuff. Now, what will happen though is, because this is a layout that you've just saved, all right, it won't really like it if you make too many changes. So with the text, moving stuff around is completely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But you will notice that as soon as I want to make it, so maybe my text is a little longer than the last one. Okay, you'll notice this will happen. It'll just disappear. So if the text doesn't fit the section that you're working with, best thing I can tell you to do is just delete it, go to your text, and add it back in there again. Same goes with the back. We're going to use the same method as what we used in the front. So as I mentioned, if you have got the text and the sizing is fine, so let me show you here. I'll copy my new text over, so we'll remove the crimson blaze and add this in here. If you're happy with the sizing and everything of where it's sat, perfect, just leave it as it is. But if it does need to be increased or decreased because it's too long, the best thing that you can do and the fastest thing you can do is just delete it and add your text back in here. Now when it comes to the main body of your text here, you'll notice over here that you'll see what I'll do is I'll copy my text, my new text over. I'm going to come over here, and if we want to replace this, you'll notice you'll just get this long line of the information. So when it comes to the big body of the text, please just delete that little text box. Come in, copy your text over. Now remember this little bar over here, you can stretch it out so you can see more of what's going on with your text. And this is where you want to make any of your alterations. So you need some spacing, so we might even add something like that. This is the place you do it in. Okay, once we've added that to our text box, then we can place it around and move it around. You will notice though, if you try to go into this bar here and you try to click enter to create a new space, nothing will happen. The only thing you can really do here is change the wording or space. You can use your space bar, but you won't be able to create a new line. So the easiest thing you can do is copy the information again, bring it back into this little section here, and make all the alterations you need. It's going to be a lot easier and more user-friendly to do it in that manner. So I'm going to make this slightly smaller, and then I'm going to stretch it out so that my text fits the page better. There we go. Now please remember, be mindful, we don't want to have our text too close to the edging. Alright, the closer it is to the edge, the higher the risk of you running into getting some of the text chopped off. Now, when it comes to the icons, unfortunately, it is something that we're working on currently, where you can click on the icon and swap it over, but at the meantime, you won't be able to do that. So you will just need to delete the icon that you're wanting to use and then replace it with a new one. So maybe we didn't want this part shade, we wanted full sun, so we'll just come in here, and you remember we go transform 30, see how that looks, maybe even a 35. Those are the two sizes that I tend to work with. And we can just place him back in there. And over here, this is going to be an easy fix, so I don't have to change much or re-add that text information in there. And then once you're done with it, you're just going to click on your finalize, and we're going to go back, and that is essentially how you're going to be able to do multiple designs without having to start all over again. And the last step is you get pushed into your cart, and you will add in the quantities, and then it's rinse and repeat. You go shop, color picture tags, click on the tag that you want and personalize now, and then you go to my designs and start editing the design layout that you've created for your design. But that's it for me. Hopefully you got something out of this. We would love to get some feedback from you guys. If you've got any ideas of what we could maybe add, or if there's something missing, we'd love to know. But until next time, thanks for listening.